Berlusconi tried hard to create a refined ambience for the high-level meeting. And even if the Giudo Renni's fresco orore was fake, Dmitry Medvedev appreciated the effort.
When I was invited for the news conference in his tent, I thought it would be similar to the one belonging to our Libyan friend, Colonel Gaddafi. But when I looked inside, I realized that this tent is a piece of art in itself.
The Russian president seems to have taken a lead from Vladimir Putin to treat Berlusconi as a friend, and the result is 18 signed agreements in one visit. One of the major deals is between Russia's Gazprom and Italy's Eni on construction of a gas pipeline through the Black Sea. The ambitious South Stream project will transport natural gas from Russia directly to Europe with no transit countries involved. Silvio Berlusconi wasn't shy about naming the undesirable middleman.
Our goal is to avoid the pipeline going through the territorial waters of Ukraine. We managed to persuade Turkey to agree that the pipeline bypasses its waters, and we're not talking about any competition between South Stream and the Nabucco pipeline. We're talking about uninterrupted export of gas from Russia.
Alongside energy security, European security in general came up in the Rome talks. Dmitry Medvedev had recently sent a draft of the new treaty to foreign counterparts. One of the key points is that countries should not allow their territory to be used as the launch pad for an attack on their partners, and that an attack on one is an attack on all. Moscow has been promoting the new treaty ever since the Georgian military invasion in South Ossetia last year.
When I first came up with the idea, everyone said, good, but we would like to understand it better. It looks very much like an anti-NATO plan. I had to explain in detail why it isn't. The basic principle behind the new treaty is European security, and it suggests control mechanisms for possible threats. Nobody argues now that such threats exist for Europe.
The Italian Prime Minister has already passed over the draft of the treaty to his government and promised the response won't take long.
Relations between Italy and Russia deserve to be called privileged. Berlusconi personally has frequently lobbied on Russia's behalf in the European Union. So it will be interesting to see if his authority now will be enough to help push through the new security treaty.
Medvedev also had a meeting with a representative of a higher power. The Russian leader traveled to the Vatican to meet the Pope. He enjoyed a one-on-one reception with Benedict XVI, signing something of a diplomatic benchmark. Russia now has full diplomatic relations with the Vatican and a full ambassador instead of a representative. So this working trip got a proper holy seal of approval. Екатерина Грачева, RT, Rome.
And coming up later in the program here in RT, trapped in their World Wide Web, RT's contributor Wayne Madsen questions the growing ties between America's National Security Agency and tech giant Microsoft. The Battle of Moscow was one of the toughest and bloodiest fights of the Second World War. In December 1941, the German army was stopped within just a few kilometers of the Russian capital. The capture of Moscow was seen by Hitler as vital to secure the quick conquest of the country. The Nazi leader believed the nation would collapse once Moscow had been taken, but his plans were thwarted. The following counterattack, the Soviet army, was the first major successful operation against what seemed to be an invincible German force. The Battle of Moscow lasted more than 6 months and cost Russia nearly 2 million lives. While many Russian veterans who survived the horrors of World War II struggle day-to-day in dire living conditions, the government has promised to help improve their lot, but veterans fear they may not be around long enough to reap the benefits they have been waiting so long for.
Almost 65 years after the end of World War II, more than 50,000 Russian veterans still live in appalling conditions. But the government vows to change that.
The decision has been made and it's final. All veterans of the Great Patriotic War must get an apartment regardless of whether they submitted an application before or after March 1st, 2005. We will provide all necessary finances for this program in 2010.
We're going to Alexander Sherenin's house.